Welcome to She Lancer, Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. I'm your host, Angela. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and this podcast are the audio versions of my live Q&A chats on YouTube. If you'd like to be part of the live Q&A chats, come on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. I'm live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. EST. We talk about voiceover, the business of voiceover, audiobooks, and so much more. Find more information on my website, voiceoverangela.com. Enjoy today's episode. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me again for another live Q&A session here on my channel. If you're new here, welcome. We welcome you with big, open, loving arms. If you're new here, well, we welcome everybody. Anyway, I'm already distracted. My channel is dedicated to those of you just getting started in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you tips, tricks, techniques, things that I do every day in my own voiceover business. And then we get together in these weekly chats to talk about a topic or two. And generally, the topic is based on the questions that I get most often on all of my videos on YouTube, throughout social media. So if you have questions about anything today, please put it in the chats. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok today. Nobody ever watched on Instagram, so whatevs. So if you're not new here, then you know every week we have a new poll. So get your votes in because it sort of guides me on what exactly to talk about for today. If you're joining on TikTok, the poll question for today is, what do you worry about most in VO? And we're talking about, is your voice good enough for voiceover today? So we're going to delve into that because that is a question I get a lot. It's, how do I know if my voice is good enough to be a voice actor or to narrate audiobooks? How do I know? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Over on YouTube, we have 20 votes. Looks like some votes are changing. People are changing their minds. The options are, my voice isn't unique enough. I know my voice, I don't know my voice type. My sound quality isn't good. Or I'm scared of auditions. And we have 21 votes on YouTube so far. 48% of you said my sound quality isn't good. 29% of you said I don't know my voice type. 24% of you said my voice isn't unique enough. And none of you said I'm scared of auditions. So for that, I applaud all of you. I am proud of you. I'm glad that you're not scared of auditions. It could also be that you haven't auditioned yet because of the aforementioned, questions or options for the poll. Okay. So the first thing that I wanted to impress upon you, if you do think that your voice isn't unique enough, or if you don't know if your voice is good enough, if that is what is holding you back from getting started, if this is your lifelong dream, if this is something that you want to do, that your heart's in it, you want to be a voice actor, you want to narrate audiobooks, but you don't know if your voice is good enough, what I want to tell you is that it's not your voice quality. It doesn't need to be, your voice does not need to be something extraordinary or unique. It needs to be honest, consistent. You have to be able to communicate, interpret scripts, be genuine. It's authenticity. It's consistency. It has really nothing to do with what your voice sounds like, right? It's really, even the more unique your voice is, could be the thing that is the most marketable thing about it. It's almost, and I think I've said this before, If there's something about your voice that bugs you, like maybe perhaps you think that you are too articulate, or you are too nasally, or you are raspy, or you are something, whatever, inserted here. And you think that is the thing that holds you back from being a voice actor or audiobook narrator. That could be the thing that skyrockets your career. That one everyday Joe normal voice thing that maybe you hate the most about your voice could be the one thing that sets you apart from everyone else. It's not, again, it's not so much what your voice sounds like. It's your ability and capability to communicate what is on the script effectively, whether that be through, the clarity of the intention or the emotion or whatever it is in the script. That is what is most important. It is not necessarily what your voice sounds like or doesn't sound like. So don't get too hung up on what your voice sounds like and if that is the thing that is holding you back, because it's probably not. That could be the thing that really makes your career, right? Thank you. Thank you for all the love. Geez, thank you for all the love on TikTok. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you have questions, please ask them. This is why we do these live streams on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. If you have questions, please ask them. Now, sound quality is a whole different thing. That's going to take a little bit more time, I think. It usually does for most people. And there really isn't an easy button to fix it or to adjust it properly without help. Because, and I know this from my own experience, what you hear in your recording space is what you become accustomed to. So you almost have to have either peers, in voiceover groups, or hire a sound engineer to help you determine what needs to be changed or what you can fix, what you can tweak, what you can add, what you need to delete, what you need to do to improve the sound quality in your recording space. That is a whole different thing. And the variables are huge from person to person, room to room, equipment to equipment. So getting help with that is definitely going to help. That's definitely something you do not want to tackle on your own. Because again, we become accustomed to what we hear every day. You might not notice that your room is reverberant. There might have echo in your room that you're just used to hearing and you don't recognize it. You could be recording with the heater or the air conditioner running and just don't realize that that's an issue and that's causing a huge problem for your noise floor, right? It could be a lot of different things. So getting feedback or help is definitely going to help you with your sound quality. Your acting ability is going to come into play if you want to be a voice actor. But I'll tell you that apart from coaching, about a year of coaching that I got from Anthony Pica years ago, I haven't had any kind of formal acting education. I haven't. What I used is my own life experiences and my ability to put myself in the shoes of whomever I was representing in the script, using my own perspectives, my own experiences in life to do that. So you don't necessarily have to have a ton of acting background. A lot of people think that you do. It helps. My God, of course it does. Training always helps to hone your skills and your acting chops. But I think what it really comes down to is your ability to be authentic and genuine and really connect with the script. The script interpretation, right? Understanding the W's, as we always talk about. Who are you as the narrator? Who are you talking to and why are you talking to them? And there's probably a lot of other aspects in there that you could probably insert as well, but those are the basics. If you can understand those things, then you will go far in voice acting. But training is definitely something that you want to look into. And also, you should be coachable. I know I'm going off on a huge tangent right now, but I have all these things that I wanted to say, and they're all coming to me at one time. You should be coachable as well, right? If you're going to reach out to get training, you don't want to be the guy that says, well, Don't tell me how to do this or that. I know how to do it. I mean, you have to be open and pliable. You have to be open to coaching, to be coached. Uh, Thank you for all the chili, Caesar. You're funny. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. What else did, let me just check my notes really quick so I don't forget anything else. Identifying your voice type. Okay. So, uh, all the different voices of the world, we all fall into a particular category, right? You could be bright, energetic. You could be quirky, calm, energetic. Um, there's a lot of different categories you could fall into, and you could probably fall into a few different categories. Um, I think the easy or the hardest thing for me was to determine where my voice sat. And I didn't know how to describe my voice. I didn't know which category I fell into. I know that I didn't feel bright and energetic most of the time. I'm kind of on the darker side of things, if you know what I mean. It took me having to rely on my clients, really, to tell me which category I fell into. Um, Again, this is another thing that your peer groups can help you with, what you naturally fall into if you really have having a hard time determining where your voice or what category your voice falls into, or again, a few different categories. Um, Another thing that I hear a lot is someone looking into getting into voice acting, and they say, I can do a lot of impressions or I can do a lot of character voices. That is great. But I think those are great sidebars, but I think having a great natural delivery is more important than character voices and impressions, unless you're just going to be the character impression voiceover guy. But really working on allowing yourself to be comfortable with your own natural voice is another thing as well. Um, I mean, having the character voices and impressions is a plus, but your natural voice is really what you want to focus on, I think. Let's see, what else? What else? What else? What else? I think how to determine when you need help. Although I do think training is a necessary thing at any point in your career, preferably at the start, so you don't start off on the wrong foot. But if you are looking to get into voiceover, I think practicing every day, meaning, here's what I say just read everything that you see, read it out loud, cold read everything. I mean, like the ingredients on the shampoo bottle, if you're just walking around the house and you just read everything out loud. And you could even record yourself and get feedback. But anyway, if you don't want to speak too monotone, you want to express yourself. Excuse me. If you can't sustain the energy, or if you start to get tired too quickly, because again, especially if we're talking about audiobooks, those are a marathon. That's hours and hours of narration, blocks of hours of narration at a time. If your voice gets too tired too quickly, that is definitely something that you want to improve. You want to keep narrating long form for long periods of time to sort of build up that, what is the word? Sustain that. I can't think of the word. I'm old. Leave me alone. But if you struggle with the pacing, if you over enunciate every word, I hear that a lot too. I think that comes from us in the beginning when we think of a voice actor. And I know I'm all over the place. I apologize, but that's why you guys watch me, right? Because I'm entertaining. A squirrel. But when we first put that voice actor hat on, we think that we need to become the voice actor. We become a whole different persona, and then we just put on this disingenuine voice, right? And then we over enunciate everything. We become the announcer voice, because that's, I think a lot of us grew up with that as the voice actor, was the announcer voice. So then we over enunciate to be sure that we are clear. You hear that a lot. And that just comes off either sounding like you are an AI or that you are just reading the words that are on the page instead of reading the words that are on the page. If you are one of those overly articulate people like I am naturally, I'm just very naturally articulate. You almost have to force yourself to slow down and to slur words and just kind of get lazy with what you're saying. So it comes across as a normal, everyday, natural person having a conversation. You almost have to allow yourself to get mushy-mouthed, if that's a thing. But not too much, because you want to make sure that everything is still coming out clear, but not too clear. Right? That makes sense. Warming up. Warming up is definitely something that you want to do as well. If you are... And I've found this as a side note. If you're a person that does like tongue twisters, I used to be someone that would squish words together. I still am, obviously, because I just did it like 3 or 4 times. But if you're one of those people that squishes words together, try tongue twisters, and you will find that as you go along in this industry, you will get better and better at tongue twisters just naturally. You know, people will say, "Hey, say that 10 times fast," and you will surprise them. Because you are a voice actor. I find that funny. But warm-ups definitely helps if you're, before you start recording. I'm just all over the dang place. Tongue twisters, trills, physically moving your mouth around to warm up definitely helps. Hydrating all through, like, couple hours prior to when you start recording definitely helps. Some people say to avoid dairy, which I think you should because it makes you extra sticky in the mouth. But for me, in my coffee, you guys know me, you got to take it out of my dead cold hands. I have to have a little bit of creamer in my coffee. But hydrating is definitely going to help. What else did I want to touch on? I think that was about it as far as just all of the points that I wanted to mention. But most importantly, the most important thing that I wanted to impress upon you guys today was that don't keep yourself from trying. If this is something that you want to do, voice acting or audiobook narration, because you think there's something wrong with your voice or your voice isn't good enough, because that's just baloney. We need the everyday, natural, normal Joe voices. Again, it's your ability to communicate and interpret and to just allow yourself to be open to expressing emotions, those kinds of things. Those kinds of things are more important than what your voice actually sounds like. So don't let that hold you back. I think that was all I needed to say. I think there could be other stuff that comes up. We'll see. We'll see what the questions hold, what the comments hold. All right. Caesar's going nuts on TikTok. Thank you so much, Caesar. Let's see. Are there any questions on TikTok really quick? If you guys do have questions on TikTok, please ask. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Are there any questions on TikTok? I'm sorry, guys, on YouTube. Hang on a second. I just wanted to see. Caesar's going nuts on TikTok. Let's see. I don't see any questions on TikTok. Please ask them if you have them. Okay, over on YouTube. Sean Tyler says, good morning, all from Nashville. Good morning to you, Sean. Jason was here early. Both Sean and Jason were here early. Jeez. Good morning, voiceover fam from Kearney. Did I say it right this time? Kearney, Nebraska. Quick question about Fiverr audiobook production. Okay. The author is thinking about doing duet-style narration in an upcoming book. I will be narrating and producing with a partner. I charge $25 for 1,000 words. We should be more thinking about per finished hour rates for Fiverr. Just side note, if you have an audiobook gig on Fiverr, you want to have it set up as every 9,300 words is your per finished hour rate. because of course audiobooks that's how they're priced. So I just want to make sure that was clear. If that equals what that equals, then that's great. But make sure that you're formatting them that way. Jason says it's going to be more work. Yes, obviously. I see on GVAA they suggest an additional $75 per finished hour, which would be roughly $10 more per 1,000 words. Thoughts? I think $75 more per finished hour as the producer is fair. I think that's fair. What is your total per finished hour then? Don't ask me the math. It's too early for mathing. Sean says to Jason, your standard per finished hour equals to about $232.50. Okay. Adding $10 per finished hour is peanuts. You could add $5 to $100 per finished hour. $50 to $100 per finished hour, or just an additional flat fee per lyric, audiobook, and narrator's roadmap. I think an additional $75 per finished hour for producing a dual or duet is fair. I think that's fair. I think it's fair. For sure, because it's a lot more extra work, obviously. It is a lot more work. It's Beals on TikTok says, submitted my first audiobook, Angela. Thanks for all of your help. Oh, I'm so glad. That's fantastic. Congratulations. And I'm so glad that my tangents actually help. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Let's see. Caesar on YouTube says, oh, hi, Angela. Hi, Caesar. I had a hard time picking an option from the poll because, well, I don't have those problems anymore. If I had to pick one, though, probably about my voice would not being unique enough. That is baloney. Yeah, I think $75 more I think that's fair. Caesar says, which is wild because my voice is unique. Not only is it unique, but it's versatile. But there's always that period post-audition submission that makes you wonder if you're good enough. Never goes away. And that is just imposter syndrome. And I think we all suffer from that. I still do daily. So it's a very normal and natural thing. What is most important about imposter syndrome is that you recognize that that is what it is. Yes, congrats, Beals. That is the most important thing about that, is that recognizing that it is just your imposter syndrome talking. And that's not really you, right? Because if you really felt that way, then you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. You're doing it because it's something that you love. But we always have that fear of the unknown, really. What if it works out? What if it doesn't work out? What if? That's the fear of the unknown. And we all have that, and that's normal. But if you can recognize that you're doing that and that you're talking to yourself that way, you can immediately switch it. You can immediately say, you know what? I did 15 books or whatever, this year or the last couple of months, or obviously it's in demand. So what am I even saying to myself? What am I talking about right now? This is ludicrous. Even if the person I just submitted the audition to just now doesn't think my voice fits their project, that's cool. There's probably 200 other authors out there that do. I just have to find them, or they have to just find me. Right? Right. Thank you guys on TikTok. I appreciate you. Hit the like button. It's easy. Just do that. Caesar said, everything else I've overcome to a considerable degree, particularly sound quality. That's an understatement. At this point, I'm only chasing that last 1% with every new thing I learn. I'm already at 99%. You've done fairly well for yourself over the years, Caesar. You've come fairly far, fairly fast. And that is due to your drive and determination and the kind of person that you are, your work ethic. Maybe a little bit too much on your plate at times, a lot of the times, but you are very talented and very hardworking, Caesar. Of course it's going to come to you. Of course it is. That is a result of hard work. You are the case study. You are the evidence, right, of how this works. You put the time and effort in, you're going to get the rewards from it. And it's just a bonus that you have a very unique voice. Caesar said, that said, hello everyone. Hope everyone's winding down and getting ready for the holiday season. I already know what I want for Christmas, and it won't fit in a stocking. Is this where we get the spray bottle, Caesar? Unless it's a huge stocking. Do I need a spray bottle? Are we going there, Caesar? Falling Ken says, greetings from a chilly Alberta. Staying warm indoors, I hope. Not quite sure how to describe my voice to others, though it was described as the sitting around the campfire telling stories, and that is a great way to describe your voice. For sure. Absolutely. That is a great way to describe your voice. It's a balmy -15 Celsius or 5 degrees Fahrenheit and dropping all day. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'll stay in Phoenix, where it's currently 62 degrees and sunny. I think we have a high of 75 today. Sorry. No, thanks. Mary Lee says, hello from sunny Tampa. I'm still working on my voice quality because I am upgrading my recording space and my computer interface. And those are always good things. Upgrading your equipment. Be careful, though, because it can become addicting. Just ask Caesar. It can become addicting. But don't think that you can't move forward, because that's kind of a form of procrastinating, right? That it can't move forward without this new thing or that thing or this thing or that thing. A lot of times we find with a lot of new voice actors and audiobook narrators in our group sessions on Thursdays is when someone new comes in and says, oh, my audio quality is garbage, my voice is garbage. You know, they're just hating on themselves. And then we listen to an audition from them and we go, oh my God, what are you talking about? You only have to maybe get rid of the silence at the beginning of the audition, you know, because there was just too much dead air. Just minimal little polish items that they needed to do to their audio quality. Minimal. And they had no idea because maybe they had it in their head that they needed to sound this perfect way, whatever that perfect meant for them. And because it wasn't perfect, that they weren't submitting auditions, but the whole time they were good enough to submit auditions, right? So don't let the acquisition of a certain piece of equipment or something hold you back from getting started. Because you can get started and get training and improve your quality and all of these other things all at the same time. And it's so much better to learn as you're doing. You learn a lot more in the doing than you would by just sitting back and absorbing information, if that makes sense. So do it. Do it. Do it in the doing. Caesar says to Marilyn, that is exciting. Have you made a choice yet? If no, I can help. Of course, Caesar can recommend something good for you. That's his thing. Alicia says, good afternoon, everyone. My first live chat with Angela. Well, welcome, Alicia. We're glad you're here. I am just starting. I have the Mic Blue Yeti. I subscribe to Adobe Audition. I'm still learning the DAW, and I don't quite know what is there a continuation? Am I not seeing it? I started practicing my pace tone. I have my space, but it is not dedicated, so I plan to mark everything with tape, smart, so I can put things back the same way each time. I will eventually join Angela's coaching group when I get the funds. I just don't know what else I can do to get going. It sounds like you have a good start. You have a very good start. Going back to your first comment, I think for you right now, continue to learn Adobe Audition. You will learn that you love it because I do. I always recommend Adobe Audition. That's what I use. That's what I've used for years. Continue to understand how Adobe Audition works. Watch videos on it. I have a few here on my channel on YouTube about how to use Adobe Audition for audiobooks and voice acting. The Blue Yeti was fine. That's exactly the same mic that I started with. Just know that at some point you're going to get the itch to upgrade it, and that's perfectly cool. I've got some recommendations on YouTube and down below the description for what you can try, microphone and equipment wise. But the Blue Yeti that's what I started with. Your space is ultimately more important than the equipment that you choose, as we always say. Because whether it's a $50 mic versus a $5,000 mic, your room is going to be, if it's not set up properly, that sound is going to come through even more crystal clear on the $5,000 mic than it is on the $50 mic, right? It's going to sound bad in both or with both, was my point. So focus on your space. If you can't dedicate that space to your recording endeavors, then I think what you're doing with the tape is a smart way to go about it. I would also take a look at the walls around you as well, making sure that there's soft surfaces around you, above you, below you, because we don't want any echo. So focus on your space, I think. But don't allow yourself again to get stuck in that place. Continue to learn, try new things, start recording some things, join groups, Facebook groups, Discord groups, whatever groups that you want to join that you can find, to get feedback on your audio quality, to get feedback on your performance, all of those things. So get involved, I think, is the best thing for you at this point. And again, don't just sit back and absorb information. Get involved with your peer groups. Mary Lynn says to Caesar, I will accept any recommendation from you. Mary Lynn says, you're in the right place, Alicia. I'm also learning my DAW. Caesar says to Mary Lynn, okay, let's talk this afternoon if you're available. I'll message you on Discord. Let's see. Hopefully you guys don't hear my stomach growling. I'm hungry. Yes, I have a blanket. I didn't realize you guys could see that I have a blanket because it's cold. I get cold if it's under 70. Blood's too thin in the desert, I suppose. Let's see. We already did that one. Oh, okay, here we go. Pam says, good morning from rainy PNW, Pacific Northwest. We're not getting the heavy rains like Seattle, but rivers are high. At least it's a warm Pacific storm and not a polar express. Pam says to the poll, I am concentrating on sleep meditative qualities. After that, duets, I think. Yeah, I think if you can master a meditative voice for like ASMR, sleep stories, hypnosis, things like that, definitely. That's always been one of my biggest sellers on all platforms, is that kind of a voice. Apparently my voice is sleep inducing. Very calming. Caesar says, welcome, Alicia. I think you're all set, honestly. Eventually, as you progress, you will learn your space, your voice, your DAW, and you'll learn your upgrade paths as you go along. Mary Lee says to Alicia, keep practicing and listening to other VO actors. I joined LibriVox to get some experience. I did that too. Oh, look at that. I got 333 hearts. I like it. I like when those numbers shows up. Alicia says, oh, I'm in Orlando. And the weather is 67% and sunny. A little chilly for me. Yep. Rustic Hillbilly is here. Good morning. Voiceover Lisa says, good morning, everyone, from the cold province of Alberta. Looking forward to today's discussion. Good. I'm hoping somewhere in the first 15 minutes of me just rambling, something helped or made sense or something. I hope something somewhere helped something. Thank you, everyone, on the Tiki Talkies. Hannah on YouTube says, good evening from a nasty, rainy Estonia, guys and gals. Caesar says, your voice doesn't need to be extraordinary, but, and hear me out, what if it is? Eric Grimes says, hi, Angela and all. I have to watch most of this later because my quartet has the second of 8 Christmas performances at 1. Wow. Look at you. Hit the like button, enjoyed Launchpad. Best thing I've ever done for my career. And if you want to join Launchpad, then check the description below. Click the link. Come and join us. My God, I can't even tell you guys how, for what you get with even Core. For those of you that don't know and you've never been here before, I am a coach with a VO's Journey. We have an academy where we teach voice actors and audiobook narrators to do what we do. We have like 6 different coaches. We have a ton of classes. I have my Launchpad, which is a 2-hour meeting every Thursday where we gamify learning, basically, and have a great time and support each other. Every Thursday, I do that every Thursday anyway, click the link. Come and join us because you cannot get everything that you get for the price point that we ask for it. You cannot. If you hire a singular coach, you're looking at $200 to $300 a month, easy. With us, you get 6 coaches for less than $100 a month. Hello? Oh my God. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Mark Roddy on TikTok says, what is a good resource to verify your files for ACX? I always say, if you learn your DAW well enough and check your own work in your DAW, that is the best way to go. So, for example, on Adobe Audition, I check my own files through Amplitude Statistics. I check my own noise floor. I check my own files to make sure that they work. I do not count on third-party plugins or checkers or anything like that because just like Audiolab and ACX, it's not 100% effective or accurate 100% of the time. I want to know through my own checking that it's correct. So that is what I do for that. Thank you, Steve. We do have a super chat on YouTube. Hold on. I'm coming. I'm scrolling. There it is. Sean Lester, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. You guys are so sweet and so good to me. Sean asks, do you ever feel like you are continually starting over? It seems as soon as I get comfortable and on a roll, the landscape changes and I start again. Yes, because trends are going to change. Seasons for demand are going to change. There's always, especially right now with technology changing as quickly as it is, there's new ideas and new things popping up all the time. This is really why I say for us as voice actors to stay on top of these trends, like UGC, right? It's a big, huge thing on social media right now. Individual everyday creators reviewing products and apps and things like that. But maybe they don't like their voice, or maybe they don't have the time to voice all of these things. So they hire voice actors to voice them for them, right? These are things that I never would have thought of even just a few months ago, maybe even at the beginning of this year. That's a new trending hot thing, right? So our industry and what we're looking at as far as the services that we offer is continually changing. It's changing all of the time. So to your question, yes, it feels like as soon as you get something down and you're on a roll, then everything changes, because it does. Change is a constant thing. So that is why we have to stay on top of these things. So, and I don't want to tell you just to scroll mindlessly on social media, but if you are intentionally, purposefully scrolling through social media just to see what is trending and what is hot and what people are doing and how you can offer your services within those niches, those small little, why do I want to keep saying boxes? Check those boxes. then that is what we need to do because it is always changing. So yes, I feel you, Sean. I feel you, but there's going to be ebbs and flows and things. Caesar sent another super chat. You guys, thank you. I really appreciate you guys. Caesar says, this may sound incredibly ambitious, but someday I'd like to be the one to change the landscape. I think, Caesar, you, of all people, have the ability to do that someday. We should do it together. Come on, Caesar, let's change the world. You, me, and Sean. We're going to do it. Thank you, you guys, for the super chats. And Caesar, for all of the love and stuff that you're doing on TikTok. I really appreciate it. I'm really trying to get some traction on TikTok because I'm there all the time. So, all right. Now, where did we leave off? Good golly. Okay, there's Eric. Here we go. Okay. Thank you again for the super chats. I appreciate it. Strange Storm Cat says, good morning from Washington State. I'm hoping to get an SSL 2 MK2 in the next few days. It's a good one. I think I actually have that interface in my recommended products down below if you're on YouTube. Justice says, good morning, Angela and chat. Good morning to you, Justice. I'm glad you're here. And good job on your TikTok channel. You're starting to put out some content. It's fantastic. I see it. Caesar says to Kat, woohoo, another convert to the cult of solid state logic. Dylan. Hey, Dylan. Good to see you, Dylan. What am I scared of in VO? Easy. Failure and success. I'm afraid of not getting the good jobs. I'm also afraid of looking like a moron and screwing up the big jobs if I get them. That is completely natural too. Doubt. I think it just all comes down to fear. But the good thing is that you're recognizing that that's what it is. That it's just fear. But the only way to overcome that is to put your best foot forward and give it the best you got. You know? It's better to try than to lose it completely, lose the opportunity completely. Of course. Tanya says, good evening all. I didn't think my voice was particularly unusual. I know better now. You have one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. You could narrate anything, Tanya, and I would listen raptly. George Griffin, voice actor FHP, says, howdy, Angela. Thank you for the great topic today. I hope it helped with all my side tangents. Don't ask me how to pronounce that. Hi, Angela. I hear sibilance in my reads, but no one ever mentions it to me because we are our own worst critics. We sometimes even imagine things that bug us, but aren't really even a thing, which is, again, why it's so important to get peer feedback, to get feedback from others, right? You either might think you're too sibilant, or you have too much echo, that that you even think that you're giving enough of an expression of an emotion and you need to crank it up a bit. Maybe you think that there's too much mouth noise. Maybe you think that you hear, nose farts or something in your audio, and maybe it's not even something that anyone else picks up because we are super critical of everything that we do. That's normal and natural. I feel like I'm overly critical of myself, and you probably are, and it's normal. It's normal, but get feedback from others to make sure that it's not really a thing. And if it's not really a thing, then it's one less thing you got to worry about, right? One less thing that you have to think about, that voice in your head as you're narrating. I hope I'm not too sibilant or something, when it's not really even an issue anyway, Justice says to Dylan, I feel that. Am I qualified for that rate? Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Question. I just saw a question on. Oh, Rebecca says to Mark, have you used Audiolab on the ACX site? Thank you for all of you pitching in on TikTok. I appreciate you. Such a supportive industry. We're all so supportive and helpful of each other. That's another thing about this industry is that we think that there's so much competition. I don't see other voice actors and narrators as competition at all. We are comrades. We are family. We, recommend each other and tap each other for products, our projects. We help each other out. We support each other. We're not competition. Because of all of the uniqueness of everybody's delivery, perspective, voice, equipment, what you as an individual have to bring to the table is different from everyone else. So I don't see anyone as competition, unless there was another exact me, then that might be competition. My only competition is myself. Right? Yes. Everybody nod. Yes. Kat says to Caesar, thanks. I ordered some of the other suggestions you gave me too. Of course. Dylan says exactly. I feel like I have the skills, but imposter syndrome has always been a gigantic beast for me. Punch it in the face and kick it out of the studio. To your point, Dylan, really quickly, I was editing a podcast yesterday and she was talking about, what does she call it? A brag sheet. She made notes of every noteworthy thing that she did throughout the year so that she could reflect on all of the things that she had accomplished throughout the year to remind herself of how far she had come. And I think that is along the same lines as when we say to celebrate all the wins, to celebrate everything. Like you win an audition, you won a job. Great. You got shortlisted even for that audition. Great. Whatever it is, celebrate it. Because when you get to the point of imposter syndrome being large and loud in your face, then you can reflect on all of the things that you've already done and why you deserve to be where you are, because you have worked so hard to come that far, to be where you are. So celebrate all of the things that got you to that place, no matter how small. That way you also train your brain to see everything positively and not, oh, I didn't win this job, or you didn't because something else better was coming for you or had come for you, right? That is why you didn't win it, because you weren't meant to. Something else better came. Or maybe you needed to learn something first, whatever it was. Celebrate all that stuff. Hey. Hey, Kayla. Hey. RLT Press on TikTok says there is also an ACX plugin to help with the RMS analyzing of your recording. Google ACX plugin. I use it and has been a huge help. I mean, the third-party checkers are great and they are helpful, but I would just prefer to know how to check it myself, for that way I don't have to rely on a third party, I guess. But everybody do what you want to do. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Say hello. At the very least, click all the little heart buttons and things. I appreciate it. David Brumfield on YouTube says, hi, Angela. Glad to see you're still here. I ain't going anywhere. I've been gone for months. I needed a kickstart to try again. Plan to get an EQ panel done, but I think I need someone to listen to my voice and give me honest advice. About what? The audio quality? Sure. But again, don't get stuck in, am I good enough? Is my voice good enough? It is. You just tell yourself that it's not. Again, the thing that you probably hate the most about your voice is probably the thing that makes you the most marketable. It's the thing that makes you stand out above everyone else. Justice on YouTube says to broad, whatever the rest of that is, don't ask me to forget it. I'm not trying it. I feel that. I have been listening in high-end audiobooks for flaws, and it gives you a good idea of what's acceptable. There's a lot more that we just don't even acknowledge when we listen to audiobooks because we're not listening to audiobooks to find flaws. We're not listening to audiobooks to analyze everything that the narrator is doing or isn't doing. We listen to audiobooks to hear the story, to travel through these spaces and this time and this galaxy, this story, whatever is happening. We're there for the story. We're there for the information. We are not there to analyze every little thing. Neither is our listeners when we're audiobook narrators. The listeners of the audiobooks that we produce are doing the same. They are there to engage with the content, not to analyze us. Right? Bob says, I watched an instructional video about Fiverr that I really wanted to watch, but the narrator whistled his S's, and he was boring to listen to. It was a 2-hour video. I lasted 15 minutes. Was it a voice actor? Or was it just someone talking about Fiverr? I have Fiverr videos too on my YouTube channel. I hope I'm not boring and I whistle my S's. But yeah, I'm the same way with AI voices. If it's something that I want to learn about, and I've always been this way, it's not just because I'm a voice actor, but anytime I hear like an artificial voice, there's no soul, there's no depth, it's all monotone. It's just, what did Caesar say? It's somewhere, it lives somewhere in the uncanny valley. It just gives me the cringes. Always has. It's the same thing. Tanya says, evening all. I didn't think my voice was particularly unusual. I know better now, but only because I became part of the community through Platinum Launchpad. See, testimonials, folks. Come and join us. Come and join us. Thank you, Tanya. Not that you needed a whole lot of help. You're amazing. Joy is here. Hey, Joy. Good afternoon, everyone, from freezing Southfield, Michigan. My sound quality has always been my concern every time I start, and that's normal, too. When was the last time that you submitted an audition for review, Joy, for your sound quality? I know you narrate live for us all the time in Launchpad, and I'm proud of you for doing that. And you're just, the progress is evident, but when was the last time you submitted a recording so we can listen to it for you? Mary Lynn says to Tanya, I could listen to you all day. Same. Alexander says, hi, Angela. Thanks for all you do. I'll be 58 in April, and people tell me my voice sounds much younger. How would I choose what my voice age is? I'm in a similar place to you, Alexander, and I would just go with adult. I would go with adult. Because some of these platforms have like child, teen, young adult. I'm trying to think of all the different options. Adult, middle age, senior, right? Sort of. I would just stick with adult. It's more of a broader range, right? Especially if you sound young for your age. That's what I would say. Kat says, well, I should have said no, Caesar, and spent less. Caesar says to Tanya, oh, this is funny. I could listen to you read a horse breeding catalog all day. But, yeah. Rebecca says, good morning from Frosty, Virginia. This might be the first poll where I don't identify with any of the options. The more you practice or audition, the easier it is to believe you are good enough. Well said, Rebecca. Katya says, hello, Katya. It's nice to see you here, Katya. Hello, everyone. Coconut cream pies for all. Oh, my God. That just reminded me. Last night, my boyfriend took me to Dominic's for dinner. Oh, my God. Such an amazing meal. Oh, my God. And we had s'mores in a jar for dessert, and it was so good. It was so good. Bottle of Cabernet. Was feeling it this morning, I tell you. David on YouTube says, any advice on getting honest advice on the sound of my voice or voice type? Yeah, join groups. Have your peers, and don't be afraid to ask these questions in the peer groups that you join, because I can guarantee you almost all of them have been in the exact same place as you, and everyone has compassion and want to support and help their fellow voice actors. Again, we're not competition. We are family. So we want to help and support, and we recognize where you are because we were there too. So everyone wants to help you. So join groups and ask those questions. No one's going to frown or look down upon you. Just be sure that you're joining the right groups that allow that kind of thing. Some groups are just informational and, I don't know, kind of straight-laced and don't want to. But groups like mine, like my Facebook group, the VO Workshop, or join Launchpad, we'll be happy to provide this feedback to you and then give you ways and tips and things to improve your voice and your sound and all the things to help. I can't enroll in a coaching course just yet. Totally understandable. I mean, we usually don't have a whole lot of capital when we're starting something new. So utilize all of the free resources. YouTube University, right? You're watching me on YouTube right now. I have, like, what was it? I thought I saw like 700. I have like 700 videos on my channel. I think that's what it was. I have tons of information for you. Just start watching it after this live stream. Thank you. I appreciate it. Caesar says to Katya, all right, I do love the pie with the... Okay, you're done, Caesar. Who's got the spray bottle for Caesar? Paul says, howdy, 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 and brought the donuts. Nice. Katya says, over-articulating is something I have to work on as well. Same. And it was a hard habit to break. But you have to allow yourself to just kind of talk normally, to de-articulate yourself, basically. It's tough. It takes a little practice. Alicia says, the word seemingly messed me up. I couldn't get it to sound right for nothing. What's the word that always messes me up? Distributors. Distribution. No, it was something else. There's a word that always messes me up each and every time, but it's a common word. I don't know what it is. I don't know why that happens, but it happens to all of us. It's a thing. So, don't worry about it. It happens to all of us. That's how I am here. Let's see. Are there any more questions on YouTube? See, you're Hannah. See, I just did it. It's Hannah, but now you're Hannah because my brain says so. I have the first recording session of my first audiobook tomorrow that I told you about last week. Good. I'm excited, but also nervous because I don't know what to exactly expect from a studio recording. And also that people are there live listening and giving judgments. They're guiding, not judging, guiding. They're there for a purpose, and that is to help you do your best. So don't look at it as anything negative. Go and have a great time. Yes, encouragements all day. They're there to help and to get the work done. They're there to help you, not to judge or criticize. Mark Roddy says, greetings from Minnesota. What is a good resource to check, verify your files? I think you asked this question on TikTok. I hope I addressed it. It's better to learn your DAW well enough to check them yourself, but there are third-party checkers. Audiolab is available within ACX itself. You can use that if you wanted to. Let's see. Justice, don't encourage the tangents because you'll get them. You'll get them. Lots of useful tidbits and nuggets in the tangents. Let's see. Let's see. Questions. Jason says, excellent. Thanks for the counsel. Of course. Joy says, hi, Angela. Thank you for the great tips you're giving us today. Do you have one on sound quality? My concern is making sure mine is good before I start submitting auditions for the day. Just trust that it is. Joy. Just trust that it is good enough. Your sound quality is not going to change every day in a way, in a major enough way to keep you from getting started. If you have your sound quality to a certain point, especially if Caesar's been involved or anyone from our group has been involved and has helped you with it, it's not going to change that drastically from day to day to day. So just do it, Joy. Just do it. Just do it, Joy. Right? Everybody all at once. Just do it, Joy. Word of mouth. How are you, darling? I haven't seen you in such a long time. I don't know, Ange. Am I good enough? Thanks for stirring that existential dread. It's not even Thursday. I know. I know. I just saw Dylan's comment. Did the woman in Phoenix just say it's cold? Asking for my 45-degree booth. For me, it's cold. I live in the desert. I have 120-degree summers. My blood is thin. Anything below 70 is cold to me. Yes. Caesar says to Joy, I actually threw an email at you regarding that. Would love to get a session going. Also, one thing you can do right now is not point your mic downwards at your desk. There you go, Joy. But just do it. Just do it, Joy. Just do it, Joy. Terrence on TikTok says, hello, Angela. Hello, Terrence. Thanks for joining. I appreciate your videos and insights. I agree that community is so valuable in VO. It is. It is one of the most loving, supportive, amazing groups I have ever been part of, industries that I've ever been part of. Amazing. Always helpful. Okay. Chat's going off. All right. Jason said, I just upgraded to Audition and also RX11. Good. Now just to find the time to learn them. Practice. Just practice with them. That was difficult for me too, but you just need to get in there and play. You know what I did? See, squirrel. I just recorded like a nursery rhyme in Adobe Audition, and then I just played it back, playing with all of the different plugin filters and all the different settings just to see what they would do. That's the best way to learn. Watch a few videos. I'm sure there's RX11 videos on YouTube. I think I've even done a few, but they weren't RX11. They were older versions of the RX suite, but still applicable. But I'm sure there's information. But anyway, just practice with them. That's the best way to learn. Jason says, I love how positive Caesar is. He is. Caesar says, aha, for a change, I didn't get the mom look. I got the show off look. Jason says, a year ago or so, I would have said yes, but it feels like things are starting to gel. Good. Okay. Rebecca says, thanks to help from everyone at Launchpad, I went from procrastinating this time last year to editing my 7th book while watching this live. My best investment by far. Oh, I still can't believe that you've only been doing this for a year, Rebecca. It just blows my brain up. If that's a thing. It's a thing now. We're making it a thing. It's amazing how far you've come in just a year. Look at you now. Caesar says, yes, absolutely. Sean, Angela, Rebecca, and I. Let's change the landscape. I'll get my weed whacker and bush trimmer. Polar vortex. No, we don't want any of that. Let's see. Joyce says, congratulations, Rebecca. I just recently joined CORE. Good. And looking forward to getting into the classes it offers. Good. VoiceOver Lisa says, I know this is off topic, but I need to create a production plan. Can you explain what goes into creating one? Or do you have a YouTube video on this that I can watch? You mean for audiobooks or social media? A production plan for what exactly? Caesar says, to me, you don't whistle your S's, but you have a slight capsule resonance above 10 kilohertz. Really, Caesar? Really? Don't feed my paranoia about something else that I need to fix now. That's common on Sennheiser 416s because of its brightness peak at 5 to 8 kilohertz. All right, Caesar, what is the best microphone for my sound and my voice? What's my best microphone? That's your challenge, Caesar. Caesar says brightness at peak 5 to 8 kilohertz. Sorry, I missed a word. I got the show-off look and the mom look. Yes, you did. Voiceover Lisa says production plan for audiobook. Okay. This is going to depend on how many words the book is, and it's also going to depend on your availability, your schedule to get these things done. And this is going to be different for everyone. But if you can, what helped for me is getting like a daily planner, and I always recommend the one. I think it's the one Blue Sky Daily Agenda Planner on Amazon. I think I have it linked somewhere. But it has blocks for each day where you can write like to-dos. And so I would just start out with day one. I would go through the manuscript and start building out the files, starting the like numbering and naming the files so they were all there, making sure that those were all right. And then, maybe record the opening, closing credits, the prologue, the introduction, and then the next day, starting chapter 1, 2, and 3. And then maybe on day 3, you could edit chapters 1. I mean, depending on, again, your schedule and how large this book is. But if you can sort of break it into manageable pieces and write those pieces down as your daily target or your daily goal, then that will help you to get it done. Just as a rough, fast, easy, loose way of explaining how to get it done. But again, it's going to depend on the length and your availability. Just, break it into smaller, manageable chunks is the best way to go about it. Thank you, everyone, on the Tiki-Talkies. I appreciate you. Caesar says, challenge accepted. Good. I appreciate it, Caesar. I'm surprised that he didn't already know. I'm surprised that he just didn't shoot one off the hip and say, here, perfect mic for you. He does that for everyone else. One bite at a time, Michael. One bite at a time. That's right. Small, manageable chunks, depending on your time and availability. What is that? Yeah, that Caesar didn't know the perfect mic for me off the top of his head. He still hasn't responded. My gabbers are flabbergasted. My flabbers are gasted? What's that saying? Why did that just come to me? Oh boy, I need more coffee. Maybe less coffee. It is shocking. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that Caesar hasn't already responded with an answer. Shall we wait? Or shall we come back to you, Caesar? Okay. Caesar's got one. A Roswell Pro Audio Mini K67. Of course, I get the most obscure mic that I've never heard of. Has anyone else heard of this mic? A Roswell Pro Audio Mini K67X. I'm going to go check that out. So allow me a moment to write it down. A Roswell Pro Audio. You have heard of that one, Rebecca? I haven't. Or maybe I have in passing somewhere, but I can't. This is not one that is spoken about a lot in my circles anyway. KX. Hang on. Let me write that down so I can actually read it. K67X. All right. I'm going to check that out. All right, so this is the point where I say thank you, everyone, for watching and participating, and I'm hoping genuinely that something I said today has helped you move forward, at the very least, answered a question in your mind, encouraged you to step outside of the comfort box and get started. Oh, it's a U87 clone? Oh. Well, a U87 is like my dream mic, but I mean, who has $5,000 to just throw at a microphone? Not a whole lot of people. I don't. Ah, that's awesome. Rebecca has a hand-built custom design one? Of course she does. She's working with you. Of course she does. Okay. This is it for me. This is it for today. I will be back next Tuesday, as always, at 12 p.m. EST. I'm going to continue live with TikTok. So if you guys want to come back and hang out and ask some questions again, I'll be here. And for those on YouTube and Facebook, as always, I think this is number 205 of these live streams that we've done. I've been doing these for years. As always, if you guys have questions, if there's something that you want to talk about, if you guys want to get into microphones, to room, to noise floor, to performance or something, I mean, just ask. Just let me know. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. These live streams are for you. So just tell me what you want to talk about, and we'll talk about it. But other than that, I'll be back next week. So I will see you guys all then. Bye. Thank you for listening to She-Lancer Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. That's me. For more information about me, visit my website, voiceoverangela.com, or hop on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. Again, thanks for listening. Have a great day.